You wake up in the morning and everything feels slightly different, a fragile yet undeniable shift. The light through the window is no longer just light, it is a signal, a subtle frequency that makes dust particles dance in a choreography arranged by an unseen intelligence. The taste of coffee before you is not merely flavor, each sip carries a new depth, as if time itself allows you to taste multiple possibilities at once. You pause, not from fear or confusion, but because a gentle awareness whispers, something has changed. Most of us dismiss that moment, blaming imagination, fatigue, or luck. But imagine if it were not an accident, but a fissure in the fabric of space-time, where your consciousness unconsciously tuned its frequency and slid into another timeline that had always been waiting. The small details, the unusual light, the richer coffee, the quiet pause, become a cosmic script, delicate symbols reminding you that you no longer exist in the same probability field you left the night before. Shifts don't always require drama. Often they are subtle adjustments of the observer. When you tame your attention, when your inner world begins to resonate with another potential, reality rearranges probability distributions around you. Not a miracle, but a profound noticing. You are adjusting the dial of your own frequency. In that silence, in a blink, a breath, a sip of coffee, the universe may nod. Listen carefully. It is a sign that consciousness does not merely reflect the world, it chooses it. The next step is a delicate decision, to agree to live by the new frequency. In the microscopic dimension of reality, every choice opens a branch in the lattice of possibilities. There is no single path, existence is a probability field splitting with each moment. When consciousness directs itself toward a choice, be it a small gesture, a word, or a pause, it becomes the observer, collapsing the wave function, turning probability into reality. Picture consciousness as the compass of your personal quantum ship. Each thought, each feeling, each action steers it through currents of probability. The turns may be subtle, a different response, a slower step, but the accumulation reshapes the trajectory of a lifetime. Free will is not supernatural, it is the intersection of biology and quantum, the nervous system, the heart's electromagnetic field, and the quantum field interacting to create choice. When you decide consciously, you are not simply reacting, you are restructuring the parameters of probability around you. Each decision is of quantum branching, a new twig on the tree of time. To understand this transforms ordinary actions into creation, standing tall, speaking truth, rejecting a misaligned path, all are strokes upon the console of probability. And when many consciousnesses align in the same direction, branches resonate, strengthening a particular timeline, making it more accessible to all. Hold this truth close. In the quantum microworld, a strange paradox reshaped our entire view of the cosmos, the observer effect. Classic experiments like the double slit revealed that particles do not exist in fixed form until observed. Before that, they are only clouds of probability, simultaneously existing in many states. But when consciousness arrives, a measurement occurs, the wave collapses, and one reality crystallizes. This is not sterile physics. It hints at something bold. Our consciousness does not merely record the world, it shapes it. When the mind shifts, from fear to peace, from doubt to trust, you are changing the observer state. That shift allows new probabilities in the quantum field to condense into lived experience. Imagine life as a multiverse screen. Every possibility, a different job, a different relationship, a different you, already exists in potential. Consciousness is the remote, deciding which channel plays. You are not just watching the movie, you are selecting it. Those subtle inner shifts, the quiet moments when you reset the frequency of thought and emotion, may be the instant of wave function collapse, when reality restructures itself to mirror your new state. From then on, each observation through a new lens becomes the universe observing you back with a fresh face. Everything in the cosmos vibrates, from tiny atoms to giant stars. Humans themselves are instruments, broadcasting frequencies through thought, emotion, and biological rhythm. When scattered, these create chaos, like an orchestra out of tune. But when mind, emotion, and action align, a state called coherence emerges, pure resonance. In coherence, heart and brain synchronize, the nervous system calms, and the body becomes a clear antenna, transmitting into the quantum field. The wonder is that the field does not merely receive, it responds. Like a string struck at the right pitch, the universe vibrates with your signal, arranging your reality to echo the harmony. Carry anxiety, and the field mirrors it with circumstances amplifying unrest. Raise your inner frequency through gratitude, love, presence, and you not only feel different inside but also attract events, people, and opportunities resonant with that energy. This is not magic but a deep physical mechanism, frequency resonance. Imagine yourself as an instrument in the cosmic symphony. When you tune your strings, everything nearby begins to fall into harmony with you. The quantum field is always listening, and as you lift your frequency, it answers by opening doors aligned with your note. Have you ever felt moments when time itself no longer obeyed the familiar rules? A short afternoon stretches endlessly, or hours vanish in a blink as you accomplish an impossible amount. This is the first sign of temporal displacement. In quantum physics, time is not a rigid river but a flexible parameter, bendable by consciousness and inner state. When you enter flow, a state of deep focus, emotional alignment, seamless action, you not only perform better, you step outside linear clocks and into an expanded timeline. The brain in this state generates gamma waves, linking distant regions, producing a sense of both fluidity and transcendence. Body and mind unify, each motion guided by a deeper rhythm. In that space, time stretches, each second rich with detail, or compresses, turning hours into only a few breaths. This is not an illusion, but a genuine shift in how your consciousness interacts with the quantum field. When your inner frequency reaches coherence, the experience of time bends to match your inner rhythm. And that is a powerful signal that you have just slipped into another timeline, one where efficiency, creativity, and presence become your natural state. Have you ever thought of someone and then immediately received a message from them? Or searched for an answer only to have a book, a video, or even a stranger suddenly bring you the exact information you needed? This is not mere coincidence, but the second sign, the acceleration of synchronicity. In the quantum universe, everything is interconnected through an invisible field. When your consciousness reaches a certain resonance, you stop being separate and begin to flow with this field. The result is that meaningful coincidences occur more frequently. They are not blind randomness, but subtle responses from the quantum field, as if the universe were speaking to you in a private code. Physicists call this non-local correlation, when two events can connect at a distance without traditional signals. In lived experience, it appears as seamless connections, meeting the right person at the right time, opportunities appearing just when you are ready, or a recurring symbol reminding you of your path. As synchronicity accelerates, life feels as though it becomes smarter. Instead of forcing, you are guided. Scattered pieces suddenly align into a complete picture. This is the universe's way of confirming that you are tuned to the right frequency, that the timeline you have chosen is unfolding, and all you need to do is listen and continue. There are strange moments when you enter an unfamiliar room, meet a completely new person, or stand before a landscape you've never seen, yet your heart whispers, "I've been here before. I've been waiting for this." This is the third sign, resonance recognition. In quantum mechanics, resonance occurs when two systems vibrate at the same frequency, allowing energy to transfer more easily and powerfully. Human consciousness works in the same way. When you encounter a place, an event, or a person emitting a frequency aligned with you, your nervous system and intuition immediately recognize it. You don't need logical reasoning. The feeling of familiarity itself is evidence that the two frequencies have merged. Many describe this sensation as meeting a soulmate at first sight, or discovering a new environment that feels more like home than your actual home. On the quantum level, this means you've shifted into a branch of reality where that connection has always existed, and only now have you stepped in to experience it. This is not romantic fantasy, but a signal that the quantum field is arranging resonant points to guide you forward. When resonance recognition happens more often, pay attention. The universe is sending markers through people, events, and places. It is reminding you that you are on the right frequency, and everything you once waited for is actually waiting for you now. One of the clearest signs that you've shifted into a new timeline is a transformation in your emotional baseline. In the past, you may have been pulled constantly into spirals of worry, fear, or lack. But almost unconsciously, you notice you're now standing on a new foundation: peace, wholeness, and a deep trust that everything is unfolding in its own way. This is the fourth sign, an elevated emotional baseline. In quantum physics, emotions are not merely chemical reactions in the brain. They radiate as vibrational waves, energetic data your body sends into the quantum field. When you live in fear, you continuously emit a signal of unrest, pulling in experiences that reflect it. In contrast, when you maintain peace and gratitude, you broadcast a very different message: I am enough. I trust. And the quantum field, like an intelligent mirror, responds by arranging situations resonant with that frequency. This transformation often happens gradually, but once stable, it becomes obvious. Things that once kept you awake at night now ripple only as light waves. The heartbeat slows, the breath deepens, and a sense of wholeness spreads even without a specific reason. This is not denial of hardship, but a shift in how you communicate with reality. For emotion is the language of the universe, and when that language becomes peace, gratitude, and love, the reality you inhabit will answer with new chapters written in that same melody. Sign 5, effortless alignment. Another change that often follows an elevated frequency is the sense that every action becomes natural, almost effortless. Tasks you once had to force yourself into now flow smoothly, as though an invisible current were guiding you in the right direction. This is the fifth sign, effortless alignment. In this state, you no longer battle yourself. The body begins to know what is good for it. You choose nourishing food without struggle. You go to bed earlier because it feels right. You say no to misaligned paths without guilt. Decisions become clear, light as breath. Modern science explains this through brain-heart coherence. When these two organs synchronize, the nervous system automatically reduces stress, heightens intuition, and aligns actions with inner purpose. You no longer waste energy resisting the current. You merge with it, like a sailboat letting the wind carry it instead of paddling against the tide. On the quantum level, this reflects a shift into a reality branch where your choices and actions are naturally aligned with your new frequency. The universe no longer pushes against you but becomes an ally, opening the right paths before you. And in that moment, you realize living authentically is no longer effort, but your most natural state. Sign 6, recognition resonance. One of the most subtle yet profound turning points in the journey of shifting is when you begin to see yourself through an entirely new lens. In the past, you may have seen your sensitivity as weakness, your endless questions as burdens, or your uniqueness as a weight. But suddenly, one day you realize, none of it was wrong, it was all a perfect part of your cosmic design. This is the sixth sign, recognition resonance. In quantum mechanics, resonance occurs when two frequencies harmonize and amplify one another. When you shift timelines, it is your higher version that begins to resonate with your current self. The result is an inner recognition. You were born to be you, no fixing required, no need to become someone else. This opens into a sense of liberation. Sensitivity becomes a refined antenna that helps you tune into reality. Questions become tools for expanding awareness. Differences transform into an irreplaceable signature. Your entire nervous system exhales in relief, because at last you are no longer resisting your own nature. On the experiential level, this is the moment you stand before a mirror and see not only the familiar face, but also an observer, your higher self smiling through your eyes. And that is the unmistakable sign you are moving closer to the timeline chosen for your soul. Sign 7, expansion of the present moment. As you slide into your chosen timeline, one of the clearest experiences is that the present becomes richer. Ordinary seconds suddenly hold layers of details and textures you once overlooked. The sound of the wind, the colors of the sky, even the beating of your heart, everything feels more vivid, as though someone just turned up the resolution of reality. In quantum physics, the present is not a linear point, but a gateway of information. When you are truly present, you connect directly with the quantum field, the realm of all possibilities. The more attention you give to this moment, the more you can choose the reality branch that aligns, instead of being pulled by the inertia of the past or anxiety of the future. This expanded present often comes with the sensation that time slows down. A single minute can hold multiple layers of meaning. You see the subtle choices appearing, and you realize every decision, whether a word, a glance, or a thought, is a lever of shifting. This is also when intuition works most powerfully. Sudden ideas and insights from nowhere are information flowing from the quantum field into your awareness. With the present expanded, you are no longer driven by old memories or predictions, but step into the role of creator, rewriting reality with every breath. Sign 8, Lightness and Release. As you move deeper into your chosen timeline, one of the clearest signals is the inner weight dissolving. Worries that once clung to you like burdens fade, painful memories no longer pull you back, and even relationships or habits that once drained you begin to naturally fall away. In their place comes a state of lightness, clarity, and openness. In quantum physics terms, this is like a system clearing interference to establish a new equilibrium. Energy once trapped in emotional loops is released, allowing your frequency to oscillate more freely. With a higher, lighter frequency, the quantum field responds with matching experiences, opportunities arrive with ease, relationships harmonize, and even your body feels healthier and more agile. This experience can arrive gently. You wake one morning to find you are no longer haunted by an old problem, or in conversation, you unexpectedly choose forgiveness instead of resistance. This lightness is not irresponsibility, but a sign that you've synchronized with a timeline where you are no longer bound by lower vibrations. In other words, the universe is rearranging itself to release what no longer resonates with you. And as you walk more lightly, you move closer to the reality your soul chose long ago. Sign 9, Intuition as Compass. When you shift into your chosen timeline, rational thought is no longer your only guide. Instead, intuition, subtle yet clear signals, begins to lead the way. You might feel a sudden urge to take an unexpected turn, a nudge to call someone at the perfect time, or an unexplainable certainty that something will happen. When you follow, you realize you always land at the right point, meeting the right people at the right moment. In quantum mechanics, intuition can be understood as instantaneous connection with the infinite information field. While reason only processes data from the past, intuition taps directly into unmanifest potential, like an antenna receiving waves from the quantum field. By trusting and acting on intuition, you align with the reality branch where all the pieces already fit. The unique thing here is that intuition no longer feels vague. It is distinct and consistent, like a whisper becoming a constant background melody. You stop asking, is this intuition or imagination, because your body, your heartbeat, gut feeling, and chest ease becomes the channel of confirmation. This is the sign that you've handed the steering wheel to your higher awareness. And when intuition becomes the compass, you walk not only on the chosen path, but with unshakable trust that the universe always guides you true. Sign 10, Sense of Inevitability. At this stage, you may notice a unique state. Everything unfolding carries the feeling of just right, just in time. Even if the journey winds, even in moments of challenge, deep inside you sense a certainty that all is arranged to lead you into the right reality. This is not passive waiting, but a deep assurance that you are gliding on a quantum track aligned with your soul. In quantum physics terms, this is a regression toward the highest probability state. When consciousness and frequency synchronize, the system naturally pulls you toward the timeline of strongest resonance. This explains why resistance or doubt diminishes. Reality begins to self-organize around your deepest choice. Experiences may include, a once difficult task suddenly flows with ease, a door you thought was closed opens, or coincidences guide you forward step by step without effort. Even obstacles feel like essential pieces completing the greater design. This sense of inevitability does not strip away freedom. On the contrary, it grants ultimate freedom, no longer haunted by fear of wrong choices, missed chances, or missteps. For you understand that, within the chosen timeline, all paths lead to the same point, the harmony of your soul with the universe. When an individual shifts into their chosen timeline, the impact does not stop at a personal experience. In quantum physics, systems vibrating at the same frequency tend to synchronize. This is called coherence. Thus, when you raise your internal frequency, that state ripples outward like waves across a lake, creating resonance in your family, community, and even the collective of humanity. A peaceful smile, a wise decision, or an act born of love can trigger a domino effect within the collective field. Even more fascinating, This change doesn't just ripple forward into the future, it also flows backward into the past. In quantum terms, time is not linear as we usually think. Information can flow backward and restructure layers of memory. When you heal limiting beliefs and emotional wounds within yourself, you are also releasing energy trapped in your ancestral line. Many spiritual traditions call this ancestral healing, but under the lens of modern science, it can be seen as recalibrating the intergenerational information field. When you enter coherence, the fractures in ancestral memory, fear, scarcity, trauma, are rewritten with a new melody, peace, abundance, and love. This healing not only lightens your own steps, but also passes on a brighter foundation to the generations to come. In other words, your personal journey is never only personal. It is a gateway that activates collective evolution, weaving past, present, future into an infinite network of resonance. Many believe that shifting into the desired timeline only requires positive thinking. But quantum mechanics shows that this barely scratches the surface. The quantum field does not respond to slogans or shallow thoughts. It responds to coherence, the absolute harmony of thought, emotion, intention, and action. If in your mind you affirm, "I am abundant," but your heart still fears lack, and your daily actions arise from doubt, the quantum field will mirror that dissonance, not your words. Conversely, when clear thoughts, aligned emotions, steady intention, and concrete actions beat in rhythm, you generate a pure signal in the quantum field. That very signal is the key that unlocks the doorway to a new reality. This practice is not about forcing or straining. A crucial part is surrender, releasing the need to control outcomes so the universe has space to arrange. Simultaneously, you hold a clear intention, like a lighthouse guiding the way. It is the art of balance, not clinging, yet not drifting, not forcing, yet not neglecting. When coherence becomes a habit, you'll notice reality responding more quickly, more synchronously. This is no longer self-soothing with positive thoughts. It is a scientific principle. Whichever system reaches the highest coherence will pull the entire structure into a new form. And you are the one generating that coherence in your own life. In modern science, the heart is not just a blood pump. Research shows that the heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body, far surpassing the brain. This field extends several feet beyond the body, directly interacting with the surrounding space, that is, with the quantum field. When we live in stress, anxiety, or fear, the heartbeat becomes chaotic, and the electromagnetic field emits incoherent signals. The quantum field, when receiving this, reflects it with matching experiences, disorder, stagnation, lack of flow. But when you step into heart coherence, often activated through gratitude, love, or deep peace, the heartbeat becomes harmonious, and the electromagnetic field radiates strong, consistent waves. Imagine the heart as a giant tuning fork. When it vibrates at higher frequencies, it not only harmonizes your nervous system and brain, but also sends signals into the quantum field, calling in possibilities that match the new rhythm. This is why both scientists and spiritual practitioners agree, the key to shifting reality lies in the heart, not just the mind. This explains why when you truly feel gratitude, not just think about it, life begins to transform. The heart becomes a central antenna, broadcasting a pure signal into the universe. And the quantum field, like a grand symphony, responds by guiding you into the timeline that perfectly resonates with that frequency. To shift into your highest timeline, the first step is not to try to change reality, but to re-establish choice from within. One powerful tool is the declaration, "I choose my highest timeline." When you not only say this, but feel it with your whole being, heart, mind, and emotions, it becomes a resonant signal sent straight into the quantum field. Alongside this, you must release old beliefs. Patterns such as "I am not enough," "I always fail," or "life is a struggle" are frequencies anchoring you to the old reality. Each time you identify and release a limiting belief, you free energy to step into a new branch of reality. The next vital practice is presence. When the mind runs to the past or worries about the future, you lose access to the only doorway, the present moment. Only in presence can you truly choose and transmit a clear signal. Finally, act to generate energy. These need not be grand steps. Sometimes it is as simple as drinking a glass of water with gratitude, writing a few lines of creativity, or speaking a kind word. Every small action infused with coherence reinforces the frequency you have chosen. When declaration, release, presence, and action flow together, you no longer wait for miracles, because you yourself become the signal bearer, and the universe must respond by guiding you into your highest timeline. The journey of timeline shifting is never solitary. In quantum mechanics, collective resonance shows that when many systems vibrate at similar frequencies, the shared field is greatly amplified. This means that when we share experiences, new beliefs, or moments of shifting, the entire community elevates coherence, and the ripple effect grows exponentially compared to one individual alone. Therefore, I extend to you an invitation. Share the keywords, signs, or personal experiences you felt on this journey. It might be a strange dream, a synchronistic coincidence, or a moment when your heart pulsed with indescribable peace. Each piece you share is not just a story, it is a frequency. And woven together, we create a network of collective energy where everyone is supported. At the same time, to stay connected within this energy field, follow and subscribe. This is not just a technical action, but a way of signaling to the universe, I choose to remain in this frequency, I choose to resonate with fellow travelers. That connection is the collective heartbeat, where each individual contributes a pulse to form a greater symphony. Together, we do more than change personal realities, we create a collective shift, bringing the whole community closer to the highest timeline. The timeline you long for is not a secret door that opens once and vanishes. In quantum physics, all possibilities exist simultaneously in the field of potential. This means the timeline you choose is always available, no matter where you are or what you are going through. The point is not to find the right door, but to continually tune your frequency to step into it, moment by moment. Shifting is not a fixed destination. It is like a river, where you can change course with each small paddle of thought, feeling, and action. At times, you may slip back into an old branch, with fear, doubt, or lack of faith. But don't see this as failure, it is simply a reminder that you can choose again, right now. Your core task is to maintain coherence, aligning thought, emotion, intention, and action. This is the state the quantum field most easily locks onto and responds to with speed. Simultaneously, you must patiently integrate. Every shift opens new experiences, and your body, mind, soul needs time to adjust to higher frequencies. Finally, remember, power is not in some grand decision of the future, but in choosing each moment. Every conscious breath, every act born from love instead of fear, is a step of shifting. And it is this consistency in each small beat that carries you fully into your highest timeline.